In our previous example, we saw how easy it was to checkmate with king and rook versus king. In this example, I'm going to go ahead and show you also how to checkmate with king and rook versus king, but this time the player of the black pieces is going to play defense a little more aggressively. Our goal is still the same. We basically want to take as many squares as possible and push the black single unit to the side of the board. Like this, we'll be able to win as quickly as possible. So what we will do here is use teamwork between the white king and the white rook. So as our first move, what we're going to do is we're going to play rook to a5, taking away as many squares as possible from black. Now, black is going to play king to d6, threatening to attack and capture our rook. Now, in this scenario, notice that the lone rook is doing a great job at taking away these squares from the king. So what we need is teamwork from the king. The strategy here is to follow or mirror the steps of the black king. So we're going to go ahead and do that. King c6, king c3, king b6, attacking the rook, and king b4. And here we've reached a key position. The main thing to understand here is our goal is still the same. All we want to do is use these two pieces to push the king to the side of the board so that checkmate could be achieved. Now, how do we do this? If in this position it's black to move, he has several moves. Notice that the only concise move in this position is to play king to c6. If he plays king to c7 or king to b7, he's helping us reach our goal faster because we'll gain the 6th rank with the rook. So now let's say black plays king to c6. And here we use our strategy, which is to follow the king. Notice that here, black could move back and attack our rook, but it's really not so simple because just like the staircase, all we have to do is move the rook over and black is in a serious situation. If he moves king c6, all we do is move the rook forward 1 square, check, and the king is forced to move further 1 rank. And white will eventually repeat this process until winning the game. And most importantly, in this position, after rook to h5, what happens, you may ask, if the king goes to a6? Then, surprisingly so, by following our plan, we simply check the king and we've reached a winning position. What happens? If the king moves up 1 rank, once again, we're reaching our goal faster and white will methodically repeat the process of improving his pieces to push the king to the edge of the board. But let's go back one more time and see what happens if black plays king to a5. So what here, you may ask? Well, it's very simple. If you take a look at this position, you'll notice that white is winning in 2 moves. All white has to do is do 1 waiting move, and I'm going to illustrate why. Notice that the rook is taking away all these squares, and the king takes away those squares, so we're almost winning. White does a waiting move with the rook, and black only has 1 square to move to, and that's a4. And here you're winning with 1 move, and the game will be over. So let's come back to this position where we've basically optimized the position of our king and our rook, and black has the option to move. So if black plays king to c6 and we follow our strategy of mirroring the king, notice that we already explained what happened with king to b6. So we're going to go ahead and see what happens if the king proceeds to the other side of the board. And we'll quickly understand what is the idea behind following the black king with our king. Notice that the king keeps moving to the edge of the board, and now the king moves 1 square further, and notice what has happened. The white king has taken away those squares from the black king, and now the black king only has 1 move, king to g6. And now, in this position, white moves closer to his goal by simply checking the king, and because these squares are taken away, and using the rook, we now successfully manage to move the opponent's king closer to the edge of the board. Notice how now all white has to do is repeat the process until the king is in the 8th rank, eventually leading to checkmate. Let's very quickly see what that could look like.